Ignoring a woman might seem counterintuitive. Even risky after all, isn't attention what she craves? But here's the truth. Most men overlook ignoring a woman when done strategically can unlock responses you never expected. Why? Because when a man steps back, it disrupts the natural flow of what she expects. It challenges her sense of control, forces her to question her influence over you and whether she admits it or not. Sparks a whirlwind of emotions that can change the dynamic entirely. Let's get one thing clear. This isn't about playing childish games, it's about understanding human psychology. Women are drawn to men who are calm, self-assured, and selective with their attention. If you're constantly chasing her, responding to her every whim, or being too available, you lose a crucial element. Mystery and mystery. My friend is magnetic, but here's where it gets interesting. Ignoring her doesn't just mean turning a cold shoulder. It's about setting boundaries, prioritizing yourself, and showing her that your life doesn't revolve around her. And trust me, this subtle shift in focus can have her questioning everything. Why isn't he texting me back? Does he have someone else? Did I lose him? These are the thoughts that will begin to creep into her mind when you master the art of ignoring. Now, some might say, but won't ignoring her, push her away. That's the beauty of this strategy. It separates the ones who are genuinely interested from the ones who only value your attention when it's freely given. Ignoring her exposes her real intentions, her level of emotional investment, and whether or not she truly values your presence in her life. In this video, we're going to explore exactly what happens when you ignore a woman, from how she reacts emotionally to the subtle moves she'll make to win you back. You'll gain insight into a powerful tool that men often underestimate. By the end, you'll not only know what she'll do, but also how to use this knowledge to maintain your power and build healthier dynamics, ready to discover the secrets most men miss. Let's dive in one. She becomes obsessed with why you pulled away. Obsessed with why you pulled away when you ignore a woman. The first thing she'll do is overanalyze everything. Women are naturally more in tune with emotional shifts, and your sudden distance will trigger her curiosity and possibly her insecurities. She'll start questioning what went wrong, what changed, and most importantly, why you're no longer giving her the attention she's grown used to. This reaction stems from something deeper than just curiosity. Ignoring her creates a sense of uncertainty, and humans are wired to hate uncertainty. Women, especially those who are emotionally invested, will try to fill that void with assumptions, guesses, and often exaggerated thoughts. She might think you're upset with her that you found someone else, or that she miscalculated your interest in her. But here's where it gets interesting. This obsession doesn't always come across as obvious. She might not text you directly or blow up your phone demanding answers. Instead, she'll check your social media to see what you're up to. She might ask mutual friends about you, or try to accidentally bump into you in places she knows you frequent. Why does this happen? Because ignoring her disrupts the pattern she's used to. If you've been consistent in your attention, your withdrawal forces her to think deeply about her behavior and your relationship. And in most cases, she'll wonder if it's her fault. If she did something to push you away, this thought alone can consume her mind and lead her to focus on you even more. For example, imagine this scenario. You've been texting her consistently for weeks, and suddenly you pull back. You don't respond as quickly, or maybe you don't respond at all for a day or two. At first, she might brush it off as you being busy, but after a while, she starts noticing patterns. Maybe you're active online but not messaging her. Maybe she sees a story of you out with friends. Suddenly, her mind goes into overdrive. Why didn't he text me? Is he losing interest? Is there someone else? The more she obsesses over the reason, the more she feels drawn to you. This is where the power of ignoring lies. It's not about being cruel, but about shifting the dynamic so that she begins to pursue answers. and in doing so, she often starts pursuing you. Understanding this reaction is key. It's not about manipulation, it's about giving her the space to realize what your attention means to her when she becomes obsessed with why you pulled away. It's because she values the connection you've built. Use this time wisely to observe her behavior and decide how you want to move forward. She tests you to regain control. 2. She tests you to regain control. Once a woman notices that you are ignoring her, she'll instinctively test you to see if she can pull you back into her orbit. These tests are subtle, but they are designed to provoke a reaction from you. Why? Because your lack of attention challenges her sense of control, and she wants to know if she still has the power to affect you. Women are naturally intuitive when it comes to relationships. If they sense a shift, they'll try to regain their footing by creating situations that force you to engage. These tests can take many forms. She might post attention-grabbing photos online, send you a casual message just to check in, or even bring up another man in a conversation to see if you'll react with jealousy. This is where most men fail. They take the bait. They get caught up in the game and try to prove themselves by giving her exactly what she wants: attention. But the key to handling her tests is to remain calm, composed, and unmoved. Responding too quickly or emotionally only reassures her that she still has control over your emotions, and that's not the dynamic you want to maintain. For example, let's say she sends you a message out of the blue saying, "It's been so quiet. Are you okay on the surface?" It seems innocent, but it's a test. She's fishing for a reaction to see if you've been thinking about her or if her absence has affected you. If you respond immediately with, "Yeah, I've just been busy, but I've missed you," you've given her the confirmation she's looking for instead. A composed response like, "All good on my end. Hope you're well" sends a clear message. You're unaffected and in control. Her tests are not necessarily malicious. They're often unconscious, but they serve as a way for her to regain balance in a dynamic that feels off. When you pass these tests by maintaining your composure, you create an air of confidence and self-assurance that makes her more intrigued. She realizes she can't easily manipulate your attention, and that forces her to reevaluate her approach by standing firm and not falling for her tactics. You show her that your value doesn't depend on her approval. This in turn can make her even more interested in figuring you out, deepening her curiosity and emotional investment in you. 3. She starts competing for your attention. Attention. When you ignore a woman, something fascinating happens. She often starts competing for your attention. Women are naturally competitive in subtle ways, especially when it comes to matters of connection and attraction. Your lack of attention triggers a deep-seated desire to win back the space she once held in your life. This response stems from the fact that people generally value what feels exclusive or hard to attain by pulling away. You shift her perception of you from someone readily available to someone she has to work for. This creates a challenge, and most women can't resist the allure of proving their worth in situations like this. Her way of competing for your attention might not always be obvious. She won't necessarily tell you outright that she wants you back in her focus, but her actions will speak volumes. You might notice her putting extra effort into how she presents herself, dressing better, looking more put together, or even making changes to her appearance that she knows you'll notice. She's sending a signal, whether consciously or subconsciously, that says, "Look at me, I'm still desirable." Another way this competition can manifest is through her interactions with others. She might bring up stories of other men showing interest in her or talk about her social life in a way that seems exaggerated. This is her way of trying to make you feel like you're missing out, like she's in high demand and you've lost something valuable. It's not about the men she mentions or the activities she describes. It's about getting a reaction from you and pulling your attention back onto her. But it doesn't stop there. Sometimes she'll go beyond subtle moves and take a more active role in seeking your attention. This might mean initiating conversations, reaching out to check on you, or even going out of her way to be in your physical space. At this stage, she's putting herself in positions where you can't ignore her presence. She's trying to remind you of what she brings to the table and why you should reconsider your distance. The reason this all feels so relatable is simple. It's human nature to crave validation. No one likes feeling ignored or sidelined, especially when they've grown used to your attention. By ignoring her, you've disrupted her sense of security and created a gap that she instinctively wants to fill. That's why she begins to compete, not just with others, but with the version of herself she thinks you once admired. You've probably seen this play out in different ways, whether in your own relationships or in those of people around you. It's a dynamic that speaks to the way attention and power can shift when one person withdraws by recognizing this behavior. For what it is, you can maintain your composure and ensure you're in control of the interaction. This stage is critical because it reveals her level of investment in you. The way she competes for your attention shows how much she values your presence. And as you navigate this, the key is to remain steady, grounded, and clear on your own worth. She questions her own value. 4. She questions her own value when you ignore a woman. It can cause her to question her own value. This isn't necessarily because you've done anything wrong. It's just a natural reaction to feeling unwanted or dismissed. Ignoring her sends a message, whether intentional or not, that she might not be as important to you as she thought. And that hits hard, especially if she's used to getting consistent attention from you or others. At first, she may brush it off, convincing herself that you're just busy or distracted. But as time passes, doubt begins to creep in. She starts wondering if she's not attractive enough, not interesting enough, or if she somehow made a mistake that pushed you away. This self-doubt can take a toll on her confidence, making her analyze every interaction you've had. But here's the reality. While she's questioning her value, you should also take a moment to question yours. Many men ignore women, not as a calculated move, but out of laziness, pride, or because they think it's an easy way to gain the upper hand. Let's be honest, some of you use silence as a weapon, hoping it will magically make her chase you. But the truth is, if you're ignoring her out of immaturity rather than intentionality, you're just as much at fault for any emotional fallout wake-up men. Ignoring her without a purpose or plan doesn't make you powerful, it makes you careless. There's a fine line between maintaining your self-respect and playing childish games. If you're ignoring her to manipulate her emotions or boost your ego, you're operating on the wrong frequency. Women aren't trophies to be won or puzzles to solve. They're human beings who deserve genuine connection. That being said, there's a lesson here for both sides. If you're ignoring her to focus on yourself, set boundaries, or test the strength of your relationship, then her questioning her value isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's a moment of reflection for her to realize whether she's been taking you for granted or if she truly values your presence. Here's the key balance. While ignoring her might make her question her value, it should also remind her of yours if she starts wondering whether you're worth fighting for. That's a sign that she's invested. But if she feels dismissed without reason, she might decide you're not worth the emotional effort. As a man, you need to be mindful of why you're ignoring her. Is it because you're protecting your peace and setting healthy boundaries, or are you just avoiding conflict and hoping for attention? The difference lies in your intent. Remember, ignoring her shouldn't be about breaking her confidence, but about giving her the space to reflect on what you bring to the table. And in turn, it's a chance for you to reflect on whether she's worth your attention when you're ready to give. She either chases you or walks away. 5. She either chases you or walks away when you ignore a woman. The situation inevitably comes to a crossroads. she will either chase after you or decide to walk away for good. This is the final stage where her emotions and actions reveal what you truly mean to her and where your choices determine the outcome if she decides to chase you. It's because your absence has created a sense of urgency within her. She realizes the connection you had is slipping away, and she's willing to fight for it. This isn't about desperation, it's about recognizing that she values you and doesn't want to lose what you shared. She may reach out more often, suggest meeting up, or express emotions she hasn't before. This is her way of signaling that she's ready to put in the effort to rebuild what feels broken, but this isn't always the case. Not every woman will chase you, and that's something men need to understand and accept. If she walks away, it could mean a number of things. Maybe she feels ignored too often and is tired of trying. Maybe she never felt a strong enough connection to begin with. Or perhaps your ignoring her came across as disrespectful or disinterested. Whatever the reason, her decision to walk away shouldn't automatically be seen as a loss. It's simply her making a choice that aligns with her self-respect. Here's where men need to reflect. Many of you expect women to chase you no matter what. But life doesn't work that way. If she chooses to walk away, it's a sign that either you didn't provide enough value to hold her attention, or she's prioritizing her own emotional well-being. Either way, you need to respect her decision. No woman wants to feel like she's begging for crumbs of attention. This is where maturity and self-awareness come into play. Ignoring her should never be about manipulation or playing games. It should be a strategic move to create space, protect your own peace, or test the depth of her feelings for you. If she chases you, take it as a sign of her investment. But if she walks away, take it as a lesson. Reflect on whether your behavior pushed her to that point, or if she simply wasn't the right match for you. Ultimately, the outcome depends on how you've handled yourself throughout the process. Ignoring her without a purpose will often backfire, leaving you with regrets when she decides to walk. On the other hand, ignoring her in a way that communicates confidence, independence, and self-worth may inspire her to chase you, but only if she truly values what you bring to the table. The truth is, this final stage is not entirely about her. It's about you too, how you respond to her. Chasing you or walking away will define your character. If she chases, don't let it inflate your ego. Instead, appreciate the effort and decide if you're ready to reciprocate. If she walks away, let it be a reminder to only pursue women who genuinely align with your values and goals. In the end, whether she chases you or walks away, the power lies in how you handle the situation. Stay grounded, stay confident, and always remain true to your conclusion. Worth. Here's the cold, hard truth. If you're ignoring her, it's because you've already lost a part of her. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just the reality of human connections. You can't expect to ignore someone without there being consequences. Whether she chases you or walks away, the key to all of this is knowing your own value and understanding that attention is something you earn. Not demand. If you've been using silence as a weapon or playing games, stop and think. Is she truly interested in you, or is she just reacting to the lack of attention? If she chases you, great. But if she walks away, let that be a lesson. No one should feel like they're begging for someone's affection.